There are certain games and television shows that create a feeling so specific that it's difficult to describe. You experience them years apart, they're made in different countries, they belong to different genres, and yet somehow they feel connected. That's exactly how I feel when I played Persona 4 after watching Twin Peaks. On the surface, they don't seem particularly similar. One is a Japanese role playing game about high school students investigating supernatural murders. The other is an American television series about an FBI agent investigating the death of a young woman in a small town. But once you spend time with them, the similarities become impossible to ignore. The atmosphere, the mystery, the strange balance between warmth and darkness, the feeling that something is deeply wrong beneath an otherwise ordinary community. In many ways, Persona 4 feels like one of the closest thing gaming has to a Twin Peaks experience. Not because it copies the show directly, but because both stories are asking the same question: what lies beneath the surface of everyday life? I am Existential Thinker, and today we're exploring why Persona 4 feels so much like Twin Peaks and why the connection between them runs deeper than a simple murder mystery.
Do you see Laura?
No, not yet.
Nice day for a picnic.
Yeah.
One of the first things that connects Persona 4 and Twin Peaks is their setting. Most stories treat locations as backgrounds, places where events happen. But Twin Peaks treats the town itself as a character. The diner, the sheriff's station, the sawmill, the forests, the road winding through the mountains. Every location contributes to the town's identity. The audience begins to understand Twin Peaks not just as a place, but as a living community. Persona 4 does exactly the same thing with Yasuo Inaba. Unlike many RPG towns that exist simply to provide shops and quest markers, Yasuo Inaba feels lived in. People have routines, businesses operate daily, neighbors recognize one another. The town changes with the season. As players spend dozens of hours there, they become emotionally attached to the place itself. And that attachment matters because both stories rely on the audience feeling comfortable before introducing discomfort. The towns feel welcoming, familiar, almost cozy, which makes the darkness hiding underneath even more unsettling. The player and viewer begin to realize something disturbing. The places that feel safest often hide the deepest secrets.
You remember our first room, Ben? Me on the top bunk and you on the bottom bunk. And Louise Dombrowski dancing on the hook rug with a flashlight.
The most obvious connection between Persona 4 and Twin Peaks is the central mystery. Twin Peaks begins with the murder of Laura Palmer. The entire town is shaken. People search for answers. Investigators begin uncovering hidden secrets. Similarly, Persona 4 begins with a series of mysterious deaths connected to the Midnight Channel. At first, both stories seem straightforward. A crime has occurred. Find the culprit, solve the mystery, restore normality. But that isn't actually what either story is about. The murders are merely the doorway. As the investigations continue, both narratives gradually reveal that the mystery is much larger than anyone initially believed. the crime itself becomes less important than what it exposes: hidden relationships, personal secrets, psychological wounds, and eventually, supernatural forces. The deeper the protagonists dig, the more they discover that the town itself is hiding something. And that sense of descending deeper into layers of mystery is one of the strongest connections between the two works.
Before you came here, Twin Peak was a simple place. My brothers dealt up to the teenagers and the truck drivers. When I Jack welcomed the businessmen and the tourists, quiet people live a quiet life. Then, a pretty girl died. And you arrive, and everything changed.
Perhaps the biggest similarity between Twin Peaks and Persona 4 is the existence of another reality hidden beneath ordinary life. In Twin Peaks, reality is intertwined with mysterious supernatural spaces. The Black Lodge, dream worlds, strange dimensions operating according to symbolic and psychological rules. These places aren't simply supernatural locations. They're reflections of deeper truths. They reveal things people don't want to acknowledge. Persona 4 uses the TV world in almost exactly the same way. The TV world isn't merely another dimension, it's a place where hidden emotions become physical reality. People's fear become monsters. Their insecurities become environments. Their hidden selves manifest as shadows. In both stories, entering the hidden world means confronting uncomfortable truths. The supernatural isn't separate from psychology. The supernatural is psychology. Dreams, fear, desire, guilt, shame all become tangible. And that creates a uniquely unsettling atmosphere because the monsters are not random, they're reflections of the human soul.
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
One of the defining themes of Twin Peaks is that everyone has secrets. Characters who seem ordinary reveal unexpected depths. People who appear kind harbor darkness. People who seem suspicious sometimes reveal compassion. Nothing is simple. Everyone contains contradictions. Persona 4 builds its entire character arc structure around this same idea. Every major character is forced to confront a shadow, a version of themselves they would rather deny. These shadows represents emotions and desires they don't want others to see. Fear, jealousy, loneliness, insecurity, resentment. The game repeatedly teaches the same lesson. Ignoring these feelings doesn't make them disappear. You must acknowledge them, accept them, integrate them. This is remarkably similar to what Twin Peaks explores through its characters. Both stories reject the idea that people are purely good or purely evil. Instead, they suggest that everyone contains hidden aspects of themselves. And true understanding comes from confronting those hidden parts rather than denying them.
I'm gonna go score myself a hot stud! Welcome to Not a Dream, Not a Hoax! Princess Yukiko's hunt for her Prince Charming!
Another reason Persona 4 feels like Twin Peaks is the unusual balance between comfort and horror. Most horror stories maintain a consistently dark tone. Twin Peaks doesn't. One moment you're watching a murder investigation, the next you're watching quirky conversations in a diner. There is humor, friendship, romance, absurdity. The show genuinely loves its characters, and that is important because that affection makes the horror more effective. When terrible things happen, they matter because you care about the people involved. Persona 4 uses exactly the same approach. Large portions of the game are dedicated to everyday life: school events, shopping trips, summer vacations, festival celebrations, friends simply spending time together. Many players remember these moments more vividly than the combat because they're emotionally grounding. They create a sense of belonging, a sense that Yaso Inaba is home. And once that feeling exists, every threat feels personal. The horror isn't just about monsters, it's about protecting a place you love.
I'll protect you all from the madness of this world. I'll take you to a place where you can be at peace. Yes, it's much more peaceful than here.
At the heart of both Twin Peaks and Persona 4 is a search for truth. Not just factual truth, but emotional, psychological, and personal truth. In Twin Peaks, characters are constantly hiding things. The challenge is separating appearances from reality, understanding what lies beneath the surface. Persona 4 takes this concept and makes it its central theme. The game repeatedly asks, can you face the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it challenges your self image, even when it hurts? The protagonist and the investigation team constantly push beyond assumptions. They refuse easy answers. They continue searching, and that search ultimately becomes more important than solving the murders themselves. Because both stories suggest that truth is never simple. It exists beneath layers of denial, illusion, and self deception. Finding it requires courage.
Harry, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Every day, once a day, give yourself a present. Don't plan it, don't wait for it, just let it happen. Could be a new shirt at the men's store, a cat nap in your office chair, or 2 cups of good, hot, black coffee. Like this.
A present. Like Christmas.
Whenever I compare Persona 4 to Twin Peaks, I am usually talking about more than the murder mystery. I am talking about a certain type of feeling. The feeling of living in a small town that feels real. The feeling of discovering hidden worlds beneath everyday life. The feeling of realizing that ordinary people carry extraordinary secrets. Both stories balance warmth and darkness, comfort and unease, friendship and horror. They create places that feel welcoming only to slowly reveal the mysteries lurking underneath. And ultimately, both stories are about the same thing: the search for truth. Not just the truth behind the crime, but the truth about people, about communities, about ourselves. And that's why Persona 4 feels so much like Twin Peaks. Because beneath their different settings and cultures, Both tell a story about looking beyond appearances and discovering the strange, beautiful, and unsettling realities hidden beneath everyday life. And once you've experienced one, it's hard not to see the other as a kindred spirit. Have you ever wondered what happens when horror integrates itself into society? The Sinking City made this possible by integrating the weird into everyday life. I am Existential Thinker. Thanks for watching.